A mechanical system developed at EPFL's Instant Lab halves the number of hospital staff needed to turn coma patients and makes the task less physically demanding. It has won the approval of the doctors and nurses who tested the system on dummies. It takes around 5 or 6 people and a considerable amount of effort to turn an intubated patient in a hospital bed. For patients in an artificial coma, this procedure is performed at least twice a day in order to improve patients' breathing and prevent bed sores. And now that intensive care units are filling up as a result of the pandemic, the problem is getting worse. A team at APFL's Instant Lab have developed a simple system that allows just 3 people to turn a patient with little effort. It was tested by doctors and nurses at the Lasso School of Nursing Simulated Hospital and the Geneva University Hospital Intensive Care Unit, and everyone involved was enthusiastic about the new device. It has been patented and is now ready for large-scale production. Staff members currently turn patients by first placing a clean sheet on the patient so that the bed sheets can be changed at the same time, then gently rolling the patient over using the strength of their arms. With the Instant Lab system, the top and bottom sheets around the patient are bound together in 4 places by each shoulder and each knee using a kind of metal clamp. In these clamps, the 2 sheets of fabric are rolled around a tiny rod that fits into a cavity in order to secure the sheets. The result is that the patient is held firmly between the 2 sheets. The metal clamps also contain holes for attaching cables. Cables are introduced into the holes on one side of the patient's body and attached to a patient lift, the machine typically used in hospitals to transfer patients. The patient lift gently raises the seats and with them one side of the patient so that the patient ends up in a lateral position. Then the patient is gently placed on his back or his stomach, depending on whether they were initially in a prone or supine position. Very little effort is required from the hospital staff during this procedure. The existing procedure for turning patients can be tricky, so teams of staff members tend to work together for as long as possible so they learn to coordinate smoothly and minimize the risks. The procedure also entails a considerable amount of lifting, which can often lead to fatigue, muscle pain, and injury among staff members. But with the Instant Lab system, just 3 nurses or nurses aides are needed and they don't have to lift a patient's full weight. The system is very gentle and lets the caregivers focus entirely on performing the right turning technique. 2 staff members prepare the metal clamps and make sure the patient, their tubes and any other medical cables are positioned correctly. The third person operates the patient lift either manually or electronically so that the patient is turned over gradually.